Hello and welcome. It's with great pleasure that I welcome you to the last Novack concert for kids with Festival Napa Valley here in spring 2021. And we are excited to have Lucina Rodriguez and Fabiola Trujillo of Los Cenzontles join us here in our little studio. Welcome. How are you ladies today?
Thank you for having us. Excited.
I'm doing well. I'm going to get your names up on screen so that people can see your spellings. I've had the pleasure of working with you in the last year, and we're really, really happy to have you here today. Big thank you to Deborah and Kenneth Novack and the whole Novack family for their support of the Novack Concerts for Kids series with Festival Napa Valley. We've got some concerts coming up this summer that will be in person, and Lucina and Fabiola, I hope that you can join us for those on July 15th at 1 p.m. here in downtown Napa at the CIA at Copia, and July 21st at Charles Krug in St. Helena. Those concerts are free. They're all outdoors, and they will be safe and masked, and they'll be fabulous. And families with young children and youth are welcome to attend. You do have to RSVP in advance, but I hope you can join us. But here we are, right now, doing one of these last virtual concerts, and I just want to welcome you. What is Los Cenzontles? If you can tell me a little bit about, it's a lot of things I know, but what is the band? What is the academy? And what does the word Los Cenzontles mean?
Yes, so Los Cenzontles means the mockingbirds. And we call ourselves Los Cenzontles because we play and sing songs from different parts of Mexico. And in Los Cenzontles in Spanish, that means that it's the bird of 400 voices.
Cool. A mockingbird.
Yeah.
What is the academy and what is the band? Tell me a little bit about the work that you all do.
So the academy, we offer classes to youth age 4 and up. And we also, the teachers and the director are a band. Some of the teachers, like Lucina and I.
Yes, you guys are part of the band. I think that's an important thing for people to understand is there's the academy and the work that you do, and you both teach in the academy. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, and you teach in the academy, but you also have this band, and the band is quite famous. You've had documentary films made about you. You've brag a little bit about some of the great things you all do, musicians that you've worked with, places you've been. Tell me about the band.
So Los Cenzontles is a band. It's an academy, and then it's also a production, studio. So we've played with many different artists. We've collaborated with many different artists, such as David Hidalgo, Jackson Brown, Taj Mahal,
the Chieftains,
Linda Ronstadt, and we've also have opened for Los Tigres del Norte. We've played and have talked to Saul Hernandez from Jaguares, and many different artists, as well as folkmaster artists from Mexico, such as Atilano Lopez, Julian Gonzalez, so many different artists that I can't think of them right now.
You're very accomplished as performers, and your music has taken you all over the world and really, I think, made a very big impact. But at the heart of Los Cenzontles is the academy, and I know that you offer classes, but what do you offer classes in? And what makes those classes special? And how do students access you? How do they find you? How did you find Los Cenzontles? Because I think there's a story there too.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the students, we also do a young audience at schools, and a lot of the students also learn about us there. We tell them we offer classes, we do a show for them, and then we give them a flyer to take home, and then they, if they're interested in music, they'll contact us to sign up for classes.
So what are the classes? What are the classes in? What kind of classes?
So there's jewelry, there's art, singing, traditional dance music, with zapateado, cumbia, merengue. What else is there? Guitar, piano, violin.
And is there any particular focus in the kind of music that you are teaching, and the art that you're teaching and crafts that you're teaching?
Yes, we mainly teach traditional Mexican music. That's our goal. Our goal is to sort of revive and to keep the old traditions, like the traditional mariachi form that, it was only 4 musicians before it became like a big band. So we try to keep that, and play the sones, the old sones, which used to be the music that people would dance to. Not like the modern music now that we dance to. That was the social dance then. So the traditional mariachi consists of just 2 violins, which are also the 2 vocalists, and then 1 vihuela and 1 guitarrón. That was the traditional mariachi, and that's the form that we learned from our folk master artist Julian Gonzalez from Jalisco. And then we taught it to our students. And so we try to keep up that tradition. So for our students to know, and for the world to know what the mariachi used to be like before it turned into like almost like an orchestra, and before they added the trumpets and many more musicians. We also do the son jarocho from Veracruz, which was also, again, another revival of the son jarocho, of the music that used to be played many years ago. Again, like most of this music used to be social music. And what, people would gather, they would do fandangos, they would do all these parties where people would reunite, and then they would dance this style of music in a platform that's called a tarima. And then they would take turns dancing on that tarima, doing their stomping, which is more percussion, and as part of music. So they would take turns and rotate and dance on the tarima. So our main focus is traditional music, but we do also write our own music, and we try to encourage our students to sort of either write like their own verses, for example, and sing along with the traditional music, but also just kind of play and try to find their own composition in a way. But our main focus is traditional music.
So in that exploration of traditional music, you're probably also looking at a lot of history, and there are lots of different types of music in Mexico, and Mexico's a large country. Could you talk a little bit about the different types of music from different parts of Mexico? Because I don't think a lot of people in this country, even in California, that has such a rich and strong tie to the history of Mexico, necessarily understand that, that there's certain types of music, but what they come from different regions, and you guys do a lot of work that way to highlight that.
I'll tell you a story, because when I first joined Los Cenzontles, I was 15, and I only knew the music from my hometown, which I'm from Zacatecas, so there was always tamborazo, and I never knew about jarocho music or Michoacan music. And it was like, wow, I don't know, this is not Mexican. Yes, it is, So I learned about it here in the U.S. through Los Cenzontles. So I've been very fortunate to be able to experience and learn about all these different styles of music.
And Lucina, how about you? How did you get involved with Los Cenzontles? Because I know that you both started pretty young with the academy, and then got involved with the band. Lucina?
She's asking her.
Well, I was 15, and at the time, the quebradita was very popular. So quebradita is a style of music like swing, but with banda music, which is like a big brass band. And at the time, it was very, very popular. And I was doing competitions, with doing quebradita, which was very fun.
And I got to see her too, because I used to go to the same high school. So that was really fun. I've always loved to sing. So, but I was kind of shy about it. And so my dance partner told me he was going to go to Los Cenzontles because he takes voice lessons there. And I said, I want to take singing class. And I just went with him because I wanted to sing, I wanted to learn to sing. So I just went with him, and I started taking the classes, and then that was it. I stayed.
But I won't ask you how long ago that was.
That was 26 years ago. That was 26 years ago.
So you, I think, have contributed a lot to Los Cenzontles, both the band and the academy, but it sounds like you got a lot from it as well. I noticed you have some instruments behind you. Your performance for our Songs of Gratitude program has you singing, but I know you also play instruments. Can you tell me a little bit about the instruments behind you, and maybe tell me what kinds of songs you do with them, and maybe even perform one? Would you be open to that?
Sure. Well, this is the guitar, and everybody knows the guitar, so we'll just do a short ranchera for you.
And rancheras are played all over Mexico. So you'll hear rancheras pretty much in all states of Mexico for the most part.
And we'll do this one. It's called El México Americano.
Por mi madre yo soy mexicano, por destino soy americano. Yo soy de la raza de oro, yo soy México-americano. Yo te comprendo el inglés, también te hablo en castellano. Yo soy de la raza de oro, yo soy México-americano. Zacatecas a Minnesota, de Tijuana a Nueva York. Los países son mi tierra, los defiendo con honor. Dos idiomas y dos países, dos culturas tengo yo. En mi suerte tengo orgullo, porque así lo manda Dios.
That was fabulous. Yay. Tell me a little bit about those lyrics. What's that song about? And why did you choose that? I mean, one, it's a great ranchera. What distinguishes a ranchera? And what are those? What's the story that song is telling?
Well, this is pride for being both Mexican and American, showing your pride of having both cultures. And
rancheras are songs that are sung in the ranch, out in the fields with, that's what the workers of the field workers used to sing. They used to sing out, and then this music that is played and mainly played and heard in the ranchos, so you can sing out in the fields.
So,
but this song, rancheras, all the rancheras can be in all the different styles. They can be in the mariachi style, they can be in the banda style, they can be in the with two guitars, with one guitar. They could be a cappella. I mean, rancheras are just like country music. That's what it is.
Yes.
And are there different rancheras? I mean, clearly, that ranchera was probably from California or Texas or maybe Arizona. But
yes,
yes, for all of those things.
That's why it's the Mexican American places. Mexico, but now it's America, and it's
right. But are there different rancheras from different parts of Mexico? That is there anything that distinguishes a ranchera from Jalisco? Or
not necessarily, it's just the lyrics and the rhythm. It could be the lyrics and the rhythm. I mean, mostly, all the rancheras are about love.
There are a lot of songs about love, aren't there?
Oh, you left me and you broke my heart, and it's mainly about that. But they also talk about, also happy songs like Una Mañanita Alegre or things like that. But for the most part, they're the songs that express, grief and heartbreak and all of that. And no, it doesn't distinguish. It's just unless they want to talk about something that's culture, that is, from that specific region. Like, for example, if they want to add, like, I don't know, but for the most part, no, they're all over Mexico, and right. The only thing that differentiates them is the rhythm.
So you. In your work with Los Cenzontles, you all sometimes find songs that are very old, or are in indigenous language, and you perform them in indigenous language. Could you talk a little bit about why you do that? Why is it important to find historical pieces of music and also to perform them in the languages that they were originally written in? You know, why is it important, the work that you're doing with keeping traditional music alive?
Yeah, well, first of all, there's a reason why our director chose the name Los Cenzontles, because we sing and play, you know, different styles of music from different states of Mexico, and in this case will be the son navajeño michoacano, and then pirecuas from Michoacán, sung and played in the indigenous language of Purépecha. And why? Because again, that revival and the importance of giving it the credit and the visibility that and expansion, because this is beautiful music and it's from Mexico. We should all be proud of it, but a lot of us are not even aware of it because we're from different regions. Like I'm from Jalisco, Fabiola's from Zacatecas, and then there's Michoacán. And as Fabiola mentioned, a lot of the music that that's very traditional, like it's not well known in Mexico, throughout Mexico, because everybody's kind of in their own region. And that's why it's important to educate also like the rest of the country as well in Mexico and all over, you know, and nowadays with the internet, then also it's like educating everybody in the world. So it's important that we show the beauty and the pride of the style of music. We are not from that region, but we study it. We work with our folk master artist Atilano Lopez. He is Purépecha. He speaks fluently Purépecha. He's the one that teaches us the songs, and he composes his own pirecuas. So we support him as an artist. We support his culture, and we support, you know, his music. And by the way, we're loved in Michoacán, and everybody thinks that we are from Michoacán and that we speak Purépecha, but we do not speak Purépecha, and we are not from Michoacán.
But that was my next question. Like when you performed in Mexico, what are people's response? Because, you know, the truth of the matter is that even in those places, it's hard to find performers who are still doing some of this traditional music.
They're amazed. They're amazed that somebody from the U.S. comes and does the traditional music rather than they even do it, you know? So they're amazed that we do it, and they're like, oh wow, how cool, you know? They don't even live in this country and they can do the traditional music the way it was really done, you know?
So the language that we were speaking of, Purépecha, did I pronounce that correctly?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yay. Purépecha from Michoacán. I think you have a song that you're going to perform in Purépecha.
We'll sing a son navajeño in Purépecha, okay? This one's called Cara de Pingo.
That was a quick ending. Tell me about what are the lyrics saying in that song?
Well, from what I remember is that I want to know if you want to go out with me.
So it's a courtship song.
Yeah.
Damn it, tell me.
Yeah, and also we don't have the rest of the band, you know, where they would be playing violin, and there would be dancing, there would be, you know, tololoche or guitarrón. But in this case, you know, we have a vihuela, we have our voice.
Right. Now, I think I've heard that style of music with the percussive dancing, and it's very jovial and exciting. It's a little bit of almost some party music, you know. Could you tell me a little bit about some of the different instruments that you all play in your music? I know that we've been...
In this case, it's Fabiola, and it has this kind of, this kind of back, which is curved. And then there's 5 strings. This style of instrument you can use for the son navajeño, like from the Michoacan style, mariachi style, and they also used it in the Huasteca as well. Well, not as much, but mainly in the mariachi and son navajeños de Michoacan, and in some parts of Nayarit as well. So
and you teach that instrument, and that's as well at the academy, right?
Yes, I teach that instrument. I teach dancing. I teach singing. I teach like all kinds of instruments, mainly folk, traditional folk instruments. This one is called a jarana. Okay, this one has 8 strings, and this one is made out of 1 piece of wood. Okay, they just cut the piece of wood, and then they carve the inside, and they just put a top on it. And it's made in Veracruz.
Is it a particular type of wood always, or is it?
It's different kinds. Sometimes it can be oak. Sometimes it can be, just different. It's I guess whatever they have access to.
Or also what grows in Veracruz.
It doesn't fall apart, right? And but this instrument is used in the son jarocho from Veracruz. And we haven't really talked about that as much, but we'll play a little bit so you can hear how this sounds and
okay.
The music. We're gonna do el butaquito, which is el butaquito is like el cielito lindo, but in the son jarocho.
Morena, cielito lindo, vienen bajando, con pañoquitos negros, cielito lindo de contrabando. De la Sierra Morena vienen bajando, con pañoquitos negros, cielito lindo de contrabando. Y ay, que risa me da, en ver, que tú no me quieres ya. Saca tu butaquito, cielito lindo, ponlo ahí enfrente. Que si tú no me quieres, cielito lindo, yo quiero verte. Saca tu butaquito, tu butacazo. Que si tú no me quieres, cielo de mi vida, dame un abrazo.
Yay! Thank you. Tell me about that song.
That was the jarana, and that was, again, that was Cielito Lindo. I don't know if you've heard that song. Ay, canta y no llores. Well, that song was turned into many different sort of. You were talking about whether the rancheras were different in each region, right? Well, this one, Cielito Lindo, turned into many different styles. Like they have version in the Huasteca, style from Guanajuato and from the Sierra, right? Then they also have this one, Taquito, from the son jarocho. So there are many different styles of Cielito Lindo.
The many faces.
I also wanted to. Yeah, that's
this instrument. Tell me about this instrument.
So this is a jawbone of a donkey.
And what is it called? What is it called in Espanol?
Quijada.
A quijada.
It's a quijada. And it's a percussion instrument that they use in the son jarocho music. And I just want to play it a little bit. This is an antler, and you use the antler to scrape the teeth. These are the teeth. And
where do you get an instrument like that? Hang on a second. Lucina, where do you get an instrument like that?
Where do you get an instrument?
You said, oh, here's an antler. Here's an antler. I'm going to play it. It's like, oh, yeah, just get your antler anywhere. Where do you get an instrument like that? Is that from Mexico? Or do people?
Well, actually, we got this one online.
International community.
But yeah, I mean, if you're in Mexico and there's an animal that was, that passed away at a natural cause, and then you just kind of dry up the quijada, put it on the ceiling, on the roof.
On the roof.
You put it on the roof, and it just dries, and at the end you take off, the flesh and everything. You clean it, and it turns into this.
Okay, so show the sounds that it makes a little bit.
So that's what it is. And it's like, and that sound it's because of the loose teeth. Okay, so when I hit the side like this, the teeth rattle. And then you see, because the teeth are loose, and then I get to make that sound. It's like it's hollow inside. And so that's why it's like, so that's a quijada.
Cool. Well, we have another question that's come in here from a student at Silverado Middle School. It is, the week of Cinco de Mayo this week, but the student's asking, what is Cinco de Mayo, and why do people celebrate it, and how do you celebrate it, or do you celebrate it?
Well, interestingly enough, in Mexico, Cinco de Mayo is the battle. It was a battle where the French came to Mexico to fight against Mexico, and the Mexicans ended up winning the battle. So the French had to go back home, basically. So it was just that we won the battle, and it's called La Batalla de Puebla. But in Mexico, it's recognized as an important day and an important historical day, but we don't celebrate it such as the same way that, in the United States, they make a big deal as if it were the independence, but it's not Mexico's Independence Day. Mexico's Independence Day is on September 16th. Mm-hmm. So Cinco de Mayo in the United States has become this big celebration, which makes people think that it's Mexico's Independence Day, but it's not. Mm-hmm. We celebrate it. But not in a way that we celebrate. One thing is that Mexicans celebrate everything. So there's a lot of celebrations, because we're just happy people and we love to celebrate everything. I mean, if a child is born, let's celebrate that. But Cinco de Mayo is something that's historical, is important, but it's not our independence.
Right. Are there any songs that have been written about Cinco de Mayo that you know of, traditional or otherwise?
There may be songs, but there's so many songs, written that it would be, we would have to do some research to see if
if there is something specific. I was just like, is there a song that's associated with it? The song that you performed for us, that we've had the recording that people have been watching all spring, that you also performed in Songs of Gratitude, Cuatro Milpas. Mm-hmm. Could you say something a little bit about that song, and what is a milpa, and why that song is...
Yeah, I picked that song because I grew up listening to that song in my hometown. El Tamborazo would always play it without the singing, and I would always be, when I was a little girl, I was like, oh, I'm going to sing that song someday. I'm going to be the singer and sing that song. And it reminds me also because the cornfield is the milpa is cornfield, where my family and I used to go pick chiles or tomato, a lot of things that we cultivated.
So a song like that keeps you connected to your history in the place that you no longer are. I mean, do you think that yes, songs like that are important for people who have come to the United States and who are no longer in Mexico? It keeps them connected to...
Absolutely. Yes.
To who they are and where they are. Yeah.
I mean, even when I teach students a certain song and their grandparents know it or their parents know it, it already makes a connection and they feel more connected to their parents. You know, they can bond with them and they can sing the song together. So
right.
it makes
that intergenerational connection.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Absolutely.
So I want to put one more plug in for Los Cenzontles, you know, the Academy and also the band. And if people would like more information about it, they can go. There's a great website that you have that has a lot of recordings and talks about all of the programs that you offer. Are your programs free for youth, or how do young people sign up for a class? When you were 15 and you found out about Los Cenzontles, you know, clearly it was something that
they're almost free. They're very affordable. You know, it helps to charge a little bit so that you can get the students to really be committed to the program, for them to come on time and be here, you know, regularly.
Right.
So, I mean, right now we're just having virtual classes online for more of our continuing students, because it's a little bit more difficult to teach beginning students online. But once we are able to return back to regular classes, yeah, you can, we can provide a phone number and our website.
So the website's on screen right now, and I would encourage everyone to check it out. And what a wonderful resource for the music community and geographically for everyone in the Bay Area. Really, really, really appreciate the work that you're doing, and want to thank you so much for being with me here today. Any last words, any words of advice to young people who are studying music, who are interested in traditional music, that you might want to share with them?
I would just say, if you do love music, just stick to it. I mean, even whatever it is, you know, one of the things I grew up, and my mom sort of installed that into me. I grew up in a musical family. My mom loved to dance, and she would have us dance. Every Friday we would get together and then dance. And then that's what made me want to become an artist, a musician. But you don't have to be an artist and musician. You know, music is always on you. Music will always be with you if you stick to it. You don't have to stick to it to become an artist or a musician, but it's a beautiful way. It's a beautiful outlet, because it's like, you know, it connects you with yourself. It connects you with your spirit, with your soul. It connects you with other people. It's just like the best way that you can connect to yourself. And so I would say, like, if you love music, just stick to it, and you'll get to know yourself even better. That's my that's my advice.
Yeah, and Fabiola? I see it as education too, you know, because it's not about being famous or about being a star, you know. It's about embracing your culture and learning about the music and, you know, passing it on, you know. And it is a beautiful thing, very much.
Great. Thank you so much for your time today. Really, really appreciate it. And keep doing what you do. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.